Good afternoon and welcome. I'm excited to teach you how to transform your business with artificial intelligence. So, what do I know, right? Why am I so uniquely qualified to teach you guys about AI? I'm not a data scientist. I am not an AI developer, but I am a small business owner. I have a digital marketing agency and I do use AI in my business, and I use AI tools for my clients, and I also write about it and teach about it. So I'm coming to you from the angle more of marketing, but as we'll get into, every aspect of business is really being touched by AI. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about various ways AI can help you in your business. I'm going to give you some case study examples, and then we'll go over some tools you can use today and examples of those tools in action. And then we'll talk about how you can implement AI into your business, and then cover a few thoughts and caveats about that. All right. So why use AI in your business? Truly, you guys, to remain competitive, you're going to need to get into AI and understand what's going on here, what the big fuss is all about. It's AI tools are going to help your staff be smarter, faster, super creative. You'll see, because we'll go over some of these tools, and you don't want to be obsolete. If you're small business, if any business isn't using AI in the future, I mean, you're just gonna, I don't want to sound doomsday or anything like that, but it's a cool tool. It's like not, and in fact, I mentioned this later, it's like not jumping in onto the internet when it was that time. People are like, yeah, the internet's kind of cool, but it's a fad. But AI is not a fad. It's here to stay. And so you do want to pay attention to it. So there's 3 ways to implement AI into your business. What I usually tell clients, number 1 way is to explore the tools you already have, because some tried and true tools that people are used to using, like Salesforce or HubSpot, or some of the software that you already have in your business has and they've probably been sending you emails all about it and you've been ignoring them, but they have probably AI features that you can start implementing already if you already have that software. And then number 2 is to purchase AI powered tools that work for the need that you have. And then the third thing is to create a custom solution. And that's, obviously going to be the more expensive route to go if you need to. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a couple examples. So I have an e-commerce company, for example, and they want to integrate an AI-powered recommendation system into their e-commerce website. So to be clear, here's what I'm talking about. It's not Pete's Coffee. I mean, I wish they were my client. But for example, if you're looking for coffee, you click on Pete's Coffee. You want that one. You're looking through the normal things, right? And then you get to the bottom, and they say, oh, recommended for you. And so this is what that system is. And for my client, it's not so much this recommended for you. It's like, oh, you're buying that? Well, you also need this too, maybe. So it's one of those suggestible type of things. So that's what we're talking about. This is what their options are. They can find an already established solution that will integrate well with their website. Because the step number 1 would be see if their tool works. They don't have a tool. So step number 2, find an already established solution. And then if that didn't work, they'd have to hire to have the functionality custom created. So here's some of the recommendation system software. There's a lot of them, but here's some of the ones we're looking at. And this one right here, Argoid. This is their homepage. And so you just kind of, look, see their features, whatever. We liked that this had a Shopify app because it's a Shopify store. Probably going to move forward and talk to them. But if that didn't work, then what they would need to do, because here's the thing, not everybody's websites are the same. So you might have a solution that works great, but not for your website. Or they just need to do some, tweaking to make it work. But if that doesn't work, you have to hire a development company or a freelance AI developer. And, that's when you need a custom solution to fulfill your clearly defined purpose. It can be expensive to go this route, and it can be hard to hire and vet for because you don't know what you're looking for, right? You don't know how it works. And there's just not a lot of a pool of talent to choose from right now. It's too new. But if you do have to go that route, again, this is just a few of the websites that are available. There are other ones too, but these top two, this is like a crowdsourcing site. Like if you're familiar with Fiverr or Upwork or anything like that, it's like that, only it's for AI. These guys specifically for AI. And then this is a company that does the whole thing. So they from start to finish, they're your people. And I put this on here, Andrew Ng, because it's worth watching his TED Talk. He's got this vision of where people can just create their own AI solutions. I just found it fascinating. So I thought, I'm gonna put that on there. Y'all can watch him. Okay, one other example. So wedding venue business, they want to upgrade their existing chatbot to one that uses conversational AI. And the reason why, so they read this and thought, well, shoot, if only 23% of customer service companies are currently using AI chatbots, and customer service companies are like the prime, they should be using chatbots and they're not using it yet. So it just, to them, they thought, this will be a first to market for me. This will be a good thing to do because my competitors aren't doing it. I'm just going to launch myself out there. And so to be clear, here's what we're talking about. You guys are familiar with the chat with us type of things, and everyone's probably dealt with those kind of chat bots. And it ranges between, like super frustrating to like, all right, unless you're using an AI one, because regular chat bots, like they are programmed based on just predefined type of thing. There's no learning going on with the AI. There is no AI. So it's just, you try and figure out the best input you can for what people might be asking. And that's why it's clunky and hard. But so here's Quick Chat, for example, and you can just see the way it's talking. It sounds like, it just flows like a person. And the cool thing about so natural language processing is what's making it flow so easily, but also the AI learns from it. So every interaction you have with it or anybody has with it, like constantly learning the best answers to give. And this is Quick Chat, for example. That's the one we're looking at that will probably integrate into their website. So here's the full stack of what would they do next, although we're already down here, but determine whether the chatbot company they already use has AI already installed or operating within it. It doesn't. So moving on to another one, is there established tools that would work? We think we think we found one. And then if not, have to hire for this functionality to be custom created. So here's some chatbot software. Salesforce and HubSpot are not chatbot software. They're actually you guys are probably familiar, but they're a lot bigger than just chatbot. But they do have AI chatbot functionality built into their platform, just FYI. And then real quick, I want to tell you an example of a custom project. So this is totally made up, but so say you have a restaurant, we're going to call it Fab Foodie, and they want to develop a custom AI solution to optimize their food delivery process. So the first thing they need to do, though, they can contact an AI development company or a freelancer. And what they're going to run into is they need data, right? Because you can't have an AI solution without the data that the AI is looking at. So the restaurant needs to have some information like, what time are people ordering? What are they ordering? How long does it take to cook it? How long does it take, like what's the radius of the area we're serving? All these questions. And if they can start collecting that data, chances are they don't have that data collected. So that the development company would have to develop something that gathers all that information for them to begin with. And then once the solution is in place, it continues to gather and learn and grow from that. So at the end of this, the Fab Foodie should have an AI functionality that uses predictive analytics to estimate cooking times and delivery routes, reducing wait times and improving the overall customer experience. So that's just a quick snapshot of what that might look like. So I want to tell you, I know a lot of the tools I'm going to show you right now are either for upstarts or in a marketing angle, but AI benefits all areas of business. So if it's not the marketing end of things that you're interested, like say you're manufacturing and you want to know AI in manufacturing. Well, I'm not teaching you that today, although I do think I actually, there is something on that. Interestingly enough, you'll see it when I go to it. But point being, Google your industry and then say, and artificial intelligence. So manufacturing and artificial intelligence. I mean, you could even get really pinpointed and be like barbershops and artificial intelligence. Put your industry or your, niche it down if you need to, and then say, and artificial intelligence, and Google that, and you'll see all the tools that come up that are already established for your industry. You're going to learn, like, what can AI do to help my industry? So I encourage you guys to do that because it's really infiltrates just all areas of business. All right, so where to begin? With what I just said, that's what I would do, Google that, and then embrace the tools that are already on the market. Look and see, just really learn in your area, in your industry, your niche, whatever, what AI tools are out there, what are maybe your competitors looking at. I tell you the truth, now is the time to do it because a lot of your competitors aren't looking. They're busy. Y'all are busy, right? I'm busy. We got stuff to do. But you have to take the time to check this out and find out where the future of your industry is going. All right, so I want to tell you before we get into the tools, so again, I'm going to go over these tools. A lot of them are just, a lot of them are great and a lot of them are kind of fun. But here's the real important areas. And I'm not covering these in depth because like this one, for example, your CRM and your email automations, that's like a whole webinar, easy or more. But if you do have a CRM, a customer relationship management system, where you're keeping all of your contacts and customers and all that stuff, and it probably has your email in it too. A lot of times those are together. But anyway, all that stuff, lots of AI benefit happening there. So you're going to be able to let the AI predict and optimize your subject lines, write content for you, tell you what the best delivery times are. The AI is going to continue learning and improving from the data from past campaigns. So each campaign isn't an island because the AI learns like, oh yeah, in that campaign we did this. I mean, obviously it's not thinking, but I'm just saying it gathers all that information and uses it to learn forward. All right. So, and then of course it can identify and target segments of your audience for tailored communications. So real important for CRM and emails. We are going to go over using AI writing tools. That's a must in my mind. Video and image manipulation tools. It kind of doesn't matter. I mean, I need that a lot more than you guys do, but it doesn't even matter that I'm a digital marketing agency and probably many of you guys are in a different. You still need a video and image manipulation tool, I think, because of the way marketing is these days. So that's one that's on my list of important areas to implement. And then customer service, it really depends. I mean, some of us, like I wouldn't have a chat bot. I don't, I'm not dealing with mass amounts of people, but some people, even if you're not dealing with mass amounts of people, especially if you have frequently asked questions that come up all the time, same questions, same. Of course, you have them on your website, but you can have like that automated nicely. You can move them into a sales funnel. So there's a lot you can do with customer service and AI. And then your search engine optimization for your website. That's the other important area that you really want to look into AI for. And again, that's another whole webinar. But these 5 areas, these are the ones you really want to pay some attention to and look into. All right, so let's take a look at some of the tools in action. My favorite part. And of course, we got to chat about ChatGPT since it's the media darling right now. What is ChatGPT? Let's ask it. Here's what I did. I put together, and I asked Chat here, let's just play the video. I asked ChatGPT to make a bullet point list explaining what it is and how it works. And I wanted it to explain it like it was talking to a middle school student. So this was before I started paying for the premium version of ChatGPT, so it's a little slower. I mean, to me, the free is great. You guys could just do the free. Although the paid is a little more expanded, and it's faster, but that doesn't matter that much unless you're putting a whole lot of content out. But anyway, so notice this. ChatGPT is a computer program that can talk to people and answer questions like a really smart robot. So that's the talking to a middle schooler that's coming in. Because if I had asked him or it to talk to professional, it's going to word all the stuff way differently. And I'm not going to get into telling you guys like, here's what ChatGPT is and how it works. And it uses natural language processing. And like, I could give you my understanding of how all this works, but you can easily Google that. I don't want to take the time in this to tell you how it all works, other than, and we'll cover some of this because there are some caveats that matter because of how it works and how it is gathering information from the internet. So let's take another look. So this is, and we'll go back to ChatGPT in a minute, but Jasper is another AI writing tool. And this is my very first one. I've been doing AI writing tools for about 18 months now, probably a year and a half. And Jasper, I jumped on board with them way back before they were even called Jasper. I met their CEO. I flew out to Texas. I could know these guys well, and it's a great program. Although ChatGPT is, I mean, it's great too, I have to say. I was really impressed with it. So I asked Jasper, they operate also on a ChatGPT type of a platform, but it's a little bit different and a little bit better, I have to say. So here's what I did with this one. I asked Jasper to write me an email where I'm reintroducing myself to a person I met at Small Business Expo, and he mentioned he's having marketing challenges, and I mentioned, hey, I'm a digital marketer. So I want to like reintroduce myself in this email and suggest to him, you know, here's how I can help. Can we meet? But I want Jasper to write it for me because it's just, let's see what Jasper has to say about it. So there's my question again. And then he comes right up. And I mean, this is a video, like I'm not pausing. This is a whole video from start to finish, from when I did it to when I hit click and you're watching it in real time. So that's how fast that is. And when you read it, right? Dear Joe, I hope you're doing well. It was great meeting you at the Small Business Expo. I want to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself and reach out about to reach out about our conversation regarding your company's marketing challenges, as I mentioned when we met. So I won't read the whole thing, but it's all worded really well. Look forward to hearing back from you soon. But I do want to say at this juncture, even though I'm saying it's all worded really well, and it is, but I feel pretty strongly in all of the writing stuff, whatever you're putting out there, articles, blog posts, stories, whatever it is, don't use the AI only, I mean, because it is, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about how it works. Here I'm saying, I'm not going to tell you, you look it up. But so it's got all the information from the internet. It's basically taking all that data and, it's not like it just goes in a blender and comes out. It is generative. So it's learning, with Jasper, for example, I never see plagiarism with it. With some of the other ones you do a little tiny bit, but you really have to edit your stuff, make it your own. Don't just use the AI. That's just a personal thing. Somebody would just take this, copy paste and send it off. And maybe I would a little bit too, but I just feel like you need to, make the AI writing tools work with you, not just be you. All right, so now we're in ChatGPT Plus. This is when I had gone ahead and purchased it. And now I'm going to ask it to write a short story about two children, McKenna and Harrison. Make the story be about a day they visited their grandma's cabin and had a grand adventure. Make the story only one paragraph long. So I wanted to do that so I could obviously show you guys how the AI can do it. So it says, McKenna and Harrison had been looking forward to their visit to grandma's cabin all year. And when they finally arrived, they were thrilled to discover a treasure map tucked away in a dusty old trunk. With grandma's blessing, the two set out on a grand adventure. So anyway, you can read the rest of it, but there's my one paragraph story. And to me, like, this is pretty amazing. You can just say, do this, include that, don't include this, make it bullet points, talk to me like you're, explain it like you're talking to a whatever, you can just be so specific with the AI. And this one. Okay. I was like, I don't remember this one. I put this one in at the end because I wanted to show you, you can get really specific with it. So I said, write an 800-word blog post about how artificial intelligence can be used for manufacturing. This is where at the beginning I was saying, oh, wait a minute, I did do something about manufacturing. I told it, here's the keywords I want to include. Here's what I want to say. Wrap it up with some actionable steps. So I click enter, and right away, there's my title, Harnessing the Power of AI for Manufacturing Opportunities and Challenges. Here's my introduction. So it's going to go through here. I'm not going to make you guys go through this whole thing because it's 800 words, but it's going through and it's doing all the stuff I asked it to do. Okay. And then it gets to the end. It's giving me my actionable steps and thoughts. And this is a good juncture, again, to reiterate. So when you about not letting the AI do all the work, because when you look at this is great as far as it's answering all my questions. I wish I could scroll up the normal way. I'm just gonna have to go this way. All right, so here's my caveats and negatives. Here's why AI for manufacturing. So as a manufacturer, I could ask AI this and look at all that information and understand, oh, okay, better decision making, all this stuff. But if I was to take that blog post, this isn't a blog post, right? It needs to be your opinion. You need to have something to say. Plus, you couldn't just take the blog post and you could, but no one's going to read it, right? It needs to be search engine optimized. So there's stuff. It's just that you have to do. There's stuff you have to do to make this go to fruition. But you can see the benefit you have of having the AI just kind of lay it all out there for you, and then you flesh it out and make it better and make it your own. All right, pros and cons of AI writers. So pros of AI writers, they save you time, they save you money, they definitely save with help with idea generation, but they do still require human input, and the text should be plagiarism checked, like I mentioned. And the accuracy is good, but can be unreliable. And that's, sometimes I forget about that. And I'll ask it a question and it'll give me an answer and it sounds like legit, I believe you. But then I'm starting to research and I'm like, no, you totally made that up, Jasper, or whatever AI tool I'm using. So that happens. So just, be aware of that. All right, now let's talk about using AI for image creation. And this is really interesting because this image I created about 5 months ago. And with AI image creation, what you're doing is you're using words to create an image. And I remember when I did this one, I just remember being like, this is so awesome. Like, how cool is that? But watch the difference between this right here. This was 5 months ago. And then as we progress through this, I mean, it's just crazy what 5 months can do. So I started working with a tool called Closers Creative, and I put in this information. I didn't put it in this way. You fill out something like they word it this way. Young Girl by Thomas Kincaid. I didn't say that, but I said I wanted to use the artist Thomas Kincaid's style. So in any case, here's some of the weird things that come up then. So I got these results and I remember thinking, amazing. But I did notice, I'm like, that is about the most well manicured lawn for being up to her mid calves. So that was kind of weird. And then I'm looking at this little girl and I'm like, well, what is the frostbite fingers and toes all about? And then when you look really close, their faces are just not quite there, right? But still, it's very interesting. A little bit later, it gets better. Now it's crisper, still having some problems because I told this to be a rabbit wearing a hat. There's no hat. This one, I wanted a cottage in the background, no cottage. And then also, this one's even weirder still because like the tail, and so I say anthropomorphic cat, meaning like a person, right? And his tail is growing out of his shoulder or her shoulders, whatever this cat is, instead of the right, wherever it would be, not there. I would think it would be right about there. And then the basket's like circling back instead of here. So still not perfect, but very impressive. I was impressed. And here's one I did. This was intended for a book cover. And I even put in book cover, so it knew I was doing a book cover, but this was the bulk of what I said here, House in the Woods, again, Thomas Kincaid. I was just trying to get this, kind of a cottagey, cozy feel. And I like this. I thought these were great for a book cover. My only complaint and reason it couldn't be used was that it's a square shape and you couldn't choose, hey, make this illustration this size or this size. So we still had limitations here. All right, so then moved on to Jasper Art. And Jasper Art is Jasper Creative, the AI writing tool. They also have an art tool, so it's part of that. And, these are better, right? Much crisper, very obviously advanced, but still some kind of weird stuff, right? So look at that girl right there, like her eyes are, everything is so crisp and good, but her eyes are vacant and kind of dead. And still a little weird things going on, like this ear is missing something there. And then this one, I don't know. She's a little strange ear there going on. So not quite there, but then this is where we're at now. And I mean, I'm just amazed. So this is Midjourney 5. Midjourney is actually what started. Midjourney is the first AI image generator program I'd ever heard about, even before the other two. And I hadn't started using it till just very recently. And these are not my pictures, by the way. These two pictures are somebody else's creation in a group that I belong to, as well as this one. Isn't that amazing? But Midjourney is pretty challenging to learn how to use. It's not as easy as the other ones where you just say like, draw a picture of a girl in a garden with a cottage in the background. So a little more complicated, but still just amazing what AI can do. So here's some pros and cons of AI image generators. Some of the pros, great for illustrations and artwork and, really anything you want to use the illustrations for. And of course, it saves time and money over hiring an illustrator. But you do have limited control over the results. And that was something that was driving me nutty because, so say I wanted to take that rabbit, remember the rabbit with the missing hat, pretend he had his hat, all was good. But now I want him in a different scene. Now I want him, sitting in the living room or off to the grocery store, whatever my book would have been about. It wasn't my book anyway, but, we couldn't get that image to happen. We couldn't say, yeah, use the same rabbit, but now in a different scene. So that's a little frustrating. Limited control over those results. Can take time to learn how to use the platform. And the potential ethical issues related to using AI image generated likenesses without proper consent, because a lot of people use like celebrities and stuff and they're doing some cool picture, but that's kind of, I don't know, that's just a gray area of whether that's okay to do or not. This whole AI thing, as far as stuff like that goes, it's still in a, it's still in a gray area. Things are kind of, the dust is settling and let's see where it settles kind of thing. All right, so AI for video building and editing. There's a lot of fun programs here. I don't know if you've heard of Synthesia. They are a program where you choose an avatar and a background and you type in what you want it to say and the avatar says it for you. It's a little bit, it's not quite there yet, and you'll see because I'll play the video. But I bet this time next year it'll be smooth, it'll be fine, because it just seems like in the AI world things go really fast. Okay, so here's the thing. So I choose the background, I choose the avatar, and then I type this in. Hi, Adam, welcome to Waitly, the best waitlist app for busy restaurants. I give it the whole thing, then hit continue. And because this isn't, I wasn't on a paid account, so I'm getting the watermarks in the background, but that would all be gone. But you'll notice she's going to be kind of just not, a little jerky, or you'll see, here we go.
Hi, Adam. Welcome to Waitly, the best waitlist app for busy restaurants. Let's get you set up and running so your guests can have a better waitlist experience. Click the link below to get started.
So you see what I mean? But I feel like short order, that's going to all be gone. And all I had to do was type in the information and then instant spokesperson. All right, so we're going to move on to video.ai. And this is how you can make short videos from long ones. So I'll show you how I did that. I actually had a webinar recently through SCORE last month, and I took that one, how to market your business online. I took the whole long 1 hour video, fed it into this website, and it gave me 26 of these little boxes, and I just did a screenshot of 8 of them. So the cool thing about this is you can take that long video and repurpose different segments of it for different needs. So for example, and this shows you all the length of time that the video clips are. And I mentioned that because you wouldn't want to take this 7-minute one and do it like as a social media post or something like that. So I could take like this know your buyer persona and embed it into a blog post that I wrote about social media marketing. I could take some of these and put them on my social media, on my websites. It's just a way of repurposing a longer video into shorter segments and more, like tighter purpose for it. All right, this one is interesting too. So I have a story about this one, ironically. So I'm working with a client and we wanted to we're trying to figure out the email automations for their company. And we wanted an automated email to go to the customer after the customer purchased the product. And we want to encourage them to onboard themselves, to sign up and to don't just get it and then forget it. So, but we wanted to make it personalized. So it just felt like, hi, Adam, thanks for buying the product, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, the blah, 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 blah part, getting that video down, like you've got this video, you do like 10 takes of it or something, and finally you get it right. We're not going to do that for every customer. And in fact, we were thinking, well, how do we do, like, you do the one video one time and then you record everybody, like, how do we do this? So we put it on the shelf a little bit. And I was writing an article that day and I ran across this product and I immediately sent to my client. I'm like, how ironic. Here you go. Here's our answer. So here's how that works. So this, when I play this, watch the face. Just know this is the same video. And the only thing that's happening is the AI is automatically changing the name and working it so that his mouth looks like it's saying it. So let's just go ahead and watch this.
Sophia, I'm Bear, founder and CEO of Bruce Bolt, and I noticed you left some stuff. Vanessa, I'm Bear, founder and CEO of Bruce Bolt, and I noticed you left some stuff behind in your cart. Adrian, I'm Bear, founder and CEO of Bruce.
So I didn't play that whole thing out. It goes to 22 seconds where he's giving them instruction and stuff. But so isn't that cool? I thought that was so cool. So that answered our question. That filled the need. And even better than that is that you still don't have to do anything. Like if another Sophia or Vanessa or Adrian purchased your product, or or Sam or Bill or whoever, you don't have to make a new one. The AI just does it. As soon as that person orders, whatever the triggering event is, the order or the whatever, there's a triggering event, an email goes out to them. And this program integrates with your email marketing program or your CRM, and it just grabs the name and does it automatically and sends the email. So it's completely hands off, and you've got this personal email to your customers. Very cool. I like that one. All right. So this one, I use this for turning blog posts into quicker, shorter videos. And let me show you how that works. All right, so I took this blog post right here, and the AI is reading all of it, right? It's looking at the headlines, the pictures, the words. It's just going through, grabbing all this information. And then once it's done, it pulls this up for you. And you have this, it's basically saying, here's the segments. Here's how we're segmenting this. You have the opportunity to change the wording if you want, to change the image if you want. This is one I should have changed. I'll show you, because I'll show you how this video plays out. they use the exact same words as what's on. So it makes that really boring. Like it's just reading it to you. So I should have changed this so that when this screen is up, it said something different, just talked a little bit about AI or Photoshop and AI. All right, so let's see how this goes.
Photoshop Artificial Intelligence Tools. 5 Photoshop AI features that will make you a better designer. Adobe Photoshop uses AI to enhance the editing process. 5 AI tools discussed: neural filters, select object/select subject, sky replacement, content-aware fill, face-aware liquify. Neural filters apply creative effects using AI. Select object, quickly select objects or subjects in photos. Sky replacement replaces dull sky in photos.
I'm going to stop at this point to tell you, so like, here's an example of where you'd want to edit. So in my blog post, this was 2 pictures. The top one showed dull sky. There was nothing here. It was kind of whatever, gray. It wasn't gray exactly, but, and then this was the after. So this program is only picking up the after. So I would have the opportunity to build a new photo, like maybe I'll put a side-by-side, old sky, new sky over on the right, create that picture and replace it. So there is some editing, but it's just really nice because it goes through, blah, blah, blah. It's doing the whole article for you. And you can use these and repurpose them for all kinds of things too. I think it was not even a minute. So it's just a nice, quick way to do a video on your blog posts. All right, so other AI-powered tools. There are so many fun ones. All right, so this one's called Rationale. And it's, if you're just trying, you're trying to figure out the pros and cons and do you want to do something or not, this would be the tool for you. So for example, let's say what if I decide to hire a social media manager for my business instead of doing it myself? I want to know what this AI has to say about that. So I hit return, and what comes up is this brief right here. I made it bigger so you could read it here, but it basically, so here's the pros, here's the cons. Pros: expertise, hiring a social media manager, provide you with expertise, time saving, scalability. Here are the cons. So whenever you see a little gavel like this right here, that means the AI doesn't really know whether you should do this or not. And they're going to give you, this will pop up. You'll hit the gavel, and right here, this information will pop up. And it says, it's basically telling you, look, before hiring a social media manager, you're going to need to do some homework. You need to look at this, you need to decide that, because how does the AI know whether you need to hire a social media manager, right? What's your industry? What's your budget? It doesn't know. So it gives you that benefit of at least, here are the considerations. But now if there was something where it was a slam dunk, so I say, what if I decide to do a free webinar for other business owners about artificial intelligence? And I have to tell you, I literally did that one, not because I was on the fence about it, but because when I was originally going to do this only on AI writing tools, and then I was Stefan from the Fox Valley chapter called and said, hey, can you do one on AI in general? And so it just happened to be, it wasn't that I had to decide about it, but I had just happened to be working on an article that, ironically, I thought, okay, I need to figure out, let me think of an example. And that popped into my head because I just had that phone call. So and I think it's ironic that I'm using it in my presentation, actually. But so I ask it that. And so now it pops up. And this time there's no gavel at the bottom because the AI has decided it knows. And it's telling me, host the webinar. So, because it looks at the pros and it's like, look, here's the pros. You can build your network, gain insight, increase your visibility. And the negatives, the cons weren't really that big of a deal. You might have competition. So what? You might have technical challenges, but so what? I mean, that's like saying I can't get in the car to go somewhere because I might have an accident. Yeah, you might, but is that a reason not to do the webinar? But the time investment, that does give me pause because it is a lot of time to put them together, but still the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And as the AI tells me, based on the pros and cons of hosting a free webinar on AI tools for small business, it is recommended that you host the webinar. So it was kind of cool to, expand your pros and cons contemplation by using a tool like that. All right, next tool is called Validator AI. And this is really just validating a business idea for you to give you, some further insight on it. So I put in, because this was my business and I sold it, happily sold it at the top of the market. But, just out of curiosity, I wonder what it would say today. So it says, I want to start a wedding magazine that is hosted online as well as printed and sold on the newsstands. So I sold it in 2016. I'm thinking, what about today? Would that be a viable business? So I hit enter and it comes back and it tells me there's already a lot of competition. You're going to have a unique angle. It can be expensive to print and distribute a physical magazine. This is true. You'll need to build up a solid readership base in order to get on the newsstands. That's true also. Very hard to get on the newsstands, although not impossible. But it did take us like 6 months to work that out. So there's the feedback. And it, then it goes into further contemplation about it. So it's not rocket science here, but it is just, kind of if you have this idea and you want to get further input, this AI can give you its opinion about it. All right, business name generator, another, if you have clients, if any mentors are on the call, and people are like, oh, I think my name should be this, but I'm not sure, waffle, send them this one. Because it's pretty easy. So the first thing here, I filled it in, but I think the prompt was something like, give us some words about your business. And so I put model rockets, custom rockets, 3D printed, and then hit generate. And this comes up where you have to select the name style. I always just say, just give me all styles, because I don't know whether I want it to just be real words or compound words or, short phrase. I don't know what I want. Give it all to me. So, and then here's the words that you entered. These are your keywords, but those are the ones that I entered on the first screen. And then it wants to know a short 1-sentence description of my business. 3D printed model rockets. This isn't really my business. This was a client. Of course, it's not my business, although I do like a 3D printed model rocket idea. So anyway, then I hit generate on it, and here's what comes up, and pages of it. So I took a screenshot of 2 of the pages, but you can go on and on and on. And the longer you go on, the worse the names get. And they're not that great to begin with, but they're kind of like Launch Lab 3D. I could see that. So you get, you just get kind of ideas, Rocket Writer, I don't know, Custom Blast, Rocket Rush. But so even if you're not using the name exactly as is, you get all these ideas and you think, oh, that is a word I didn't even think about using in my name and stuff like that. All right, and this one, this one was good too. I remember after using this when it first came up, when I first did it and it popped up, I was like, oh, wow. So here's what you do is it's basically launch a startup in seconds with AI. And let me just show you so you'll see what I'm talking about. So you're going to describe what your startup idea is here. This isn't even a client of mine. This isn't, my head came up with this out of the blue. Temperature controlled stroller. I don't know why. So I hit return, and then it goes through this kind of a long thing of being like, oh, we're designing your logo, we're writing your copy, we're doing your SEO, and generating the site code. So this takes a while, and I think it's a little gratuitous because I think the AI could have popped this out right away, but they're wanting to show you, look at all these things we're doing. So then it comes up, and here's the thing, the part there on the left, that's like your dashboard. So this isn't part of your website. This is your website. It's kind of skinny because they just don't have it opened out fuller. You'll see it better in the next slide. But they've put together your logo, which is terrible, but that's okay because you can go get your logo. They put together your business name, which again, I wouldn't use Temp Stroller because it sounds like a stroller rental company or something to me. But the point being that you can see So fine, fix your logo if you need to, and fix your name if you need to. And so here's the dashboard I'm talking about, where I clicked the image to edit it, and this pops up. So I replaced the image. I thought that other one wasn't very sellable. But what you can see that I really like here, I should probably play that other video for you fully, because so here we go. And notice that, so they're giving you a submit button for email collection. They're giving you some social proof, right? A testimonial there, which obviously you need to change to a real testimonial, but it's there and you can see you need it and it's all placed. They write the copy for you. Perfect temperature control for your baby with advanced temperature control technology. Temp stroller allows you to adjust the temperature. So all this is being pulled and written for you by the AI. The images are being pulled, the copy, and you'd go through and you'd change those images because they're not good, but it's all in place for you, which is good. Here's another social proof and another email submission form. So that you guys just created that at the same time I did, right? It was just enter, and then we went through that process where it's like, we're doing this, we're doing that, and then boom, there it is. And you can actually use that. You can host it on there. They have a hosting plan. So anyway, check that one out. That is Mixo, mixo.com. All right. So if you guys have, if any of you are Amazon sellers, you're selling on Amazon, or if you're a mentor and you have clients who are selling on Amazon, I think this is a really helpful tool. So this tool is going to optimize your listings so that you're going to show up in the search results when people are searching for your products. So let's say this is your product. Very boring right here, right? I'm not buying it from that. It almost just doesn't look right. But if you use the tool that they have here, Copy Monkey, the AI walks you through, asks you all the questions it needs to know to write the copy for you, to choose the key words and search terms so that you do show up. So it's just a real quick and easy tool to optimize your Amazon listings. Okay, I'm trying to go really fast, although I think this is close to the tail end. Every time I get here, I think I'm running out of time, but I don't think so now that I'm looking at it. So Flare, it's actually with Flare. So this is the only one. If you want to know any of these tools, just Google them. The name on every, because you'll get the slide deck and you'll get a recording of this webinar, and it's just the name.com except Flare. Flare is with Flare, WITH, with Flare.com. So I don't know why they did that, but maybe Flare was taken. Anyway, so say you have a product, that's your product, you got your new bottle, you got your label made, but now you got to do a photo shoot. And you're like, ugh, expensive. And how do I do it? And what about the lighting? So this AI does it for you. So you can see this product here is put into this style shoot, and here is how you do it. Let's see what just happened. All right, so you place your product here. You're going to choose whatever. And when I say choose the background, you're not really choosing the background. You're choosing the idea of the background. In other words, if I had a Starbucks cup and I wanted it on a, snowy platform with mountains and clouds in the background, every time it iterates that, it's going, or reiterates it, whatever, it's going to have a new iteration of it. It's like parents, right? We have children, but they don't all look alike, even though they're from the same parents. So that's kind of the way I think about it. So here I go. I put my product here, oatmeal lavender sage soap, and it got all this information from when I clicked up here and chose whatever I chose. I think I chose this one down here actually with the flowers on this. And yeah, here we go. Placement on a grassy patch of moss, clovers and flowers. So I could change any of that if I wanted to, but let's see what it comes up with. And what I'm going to show you next is 2 times of doing it. Like it gave me the first output and then I hit regenerate and it did it again. So this was the first one. Here's my grass, or my, whatever it was called. can't think, not grassy, but you know, you guys know. Anyway, so there it is with the lighting and the flowers, mossy, that's what I'm looking for, the flowers. And then over here, the reiteration of it. I thought this was interesting that it came up this way to show you guys that AI can be, again, a little funky, because look at my soap. It has grown like into the ground, and literally the plants are growing up into it. So that's, you know, AI can be a fluke on that. All right. So then I went back and I chose this one instead, on a white platform surrounded by flowers and leaves in front of sunset and ocean in the background. And then this is what came up. So this is the first one. This is the second one I did. So, you know, kind of like, I guess I'm kind of liking the first one better. All right. So let's talk about AI considerations and caveats. I do want to let you know that data quality, and this is what I tried to say with the example of the custom project, is data quality matters a lot when it comes to AI, because that's what it's using. So if you have poor data, you're going to get, you know, that whole garbage in, garbage out kind of thinking. Poor data gives you poor results, and just not accurate, not the clear picture. Also, humans should be responsible for monitoring AI outputs and making final decisions, because it can be, I guess I would say, even if it wasn't that it can be a little bit off or sketchy or whatever. I mean, this is where it comes into to where everyone's going to have an opinion about it. But, you know, we can't let these tools, you have to use them responsibly, and be like, don't pretend you wrote an article when you didn't write it, when the AI wrote it. And I don't know, I just feel like ethical considerations is going to be a big conversation coming up. A lot of stuff about AI is going to be worth pondering. Also, ethical considerations. So, you know, back to the data, if you're giving it data that's all biased towards like one population or whatever, then that's what the AI is going to keep thinking that it's all about, only that, without understanding the range, the broad range of data we're talking about. Regulatory compliance, that's all changing, and will, as all this stuff kind of, as the dust is settling. And I think it should. Like, I'm very gung-ho on AI. I think it's great. We can do so many things faster and all this stuff, but I am also very cautious. And I think it's something we have to look at. We can't just be like, yeah, this is fun, let's go. Yeah, but let's kind of look at it a little to make sure we're doing this the right way, because it really can be very powerful stuff. And we're only at the beginning. We're in the narrow AI. We're not even in the big general as things progress. So, all right, regulatory, we talked about that. Limitations. All right, here's a story. I did have a client who is, their whole business model is based on, they write a lot, writing. So, you know, now they're using these AI tools, and it's very helpful, and they're doing really great, but they became so over reliant on them that when, you know, the tool was down for quite a while, I was like, well, you can go grab another AI tool, but the complication is you got to learn that tool, you got, you know, so just be aware that there are limitations, and you just don't be over reliant on them, just like anything. This is like business 101, right? All right. And then the cost of developing and maintaining AI systems can be expensive. Okay, so here's my last slide for you guys. That little W at the top there, that was the first logo of the World Wide Web. And I remember that logo. Yes, that's how old I am. But I do remember, you know, back when the internet was a thing, it was becoming a thing. Back in the 90s was my early 90s was when I really started being aware of the internet, because I worked at a company that was accepting online registrations. It was a computer trade show company. And these little small subset of weirdos were ordering online. And I say weirdos because we were all like, who does that? And everybody else was calling, you know. And so way back then, I was a graphic design manager for that company. And I just clearly remember thinking, okay, so then fast forward, I had my own graphic design firm that's like 10 years later. And it's interesting to see how many clients, the clients who came on board with the internet who were like, yeah, I want a website, let's do this. And other people who like in 2010 are still like, okay, well, I guess I better get an internet a website. And I think you lost all that. So anyway, I told AI, or I told ChatGPT to give you guys an explanation of why it's important for everyone to get on board with AI. So here's what it says. AI is set to revolutionize industries across the board, much like the internet did. Early adoption of this technology can give businesses a significant advantage over their competitors. Those who invest in AI now will be well positioned to take advantage of its benefits and stay ahead in their industry. And it's kind of talking to me because the way I was interacting with it. So it says, encourage business owners not to miss out on this opportunity by ignoring the potential of AI, like those who waited too long to get a website. So, all right. So that's it. I'm Terry Ambrose again. You can please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn or Facebook. Visit me on my website. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have now or later. And I'm really willing to help you out. So don't feel like you can't reach out to me through LinkedIn or something. If anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Crystal, do you see any questions in the chat?
I do have some questions. I've been keeping track. So the first one back from the beginning is Jasper free? Or maybe
No.
like, can you talk about the price breakdown of how much some of this AI stuff might be cost?
Okay, so the AI writing tools, let's talk about that real quick. Here's the thing. There's a lot of AI writing tools and they're not all the same. So ChatGPT is phenomenal for the price of $0. And you can pay $20 a month for the more optimized version, the bigger, but that's nothing, 20 bucks a month. I think Jasper is a lot more expensive, but it also has, and we're talking like maybe not a lot more, 60 bucks a month. So triple the price and it can even be higher than that because by Jasper, you kind of pay by word, but you could get by on the $60. I mean, unless you're writing massive amounts. But Jasper has like, it'll walk you through, it will show you, here's how you're going to create your social media campaign. Here's how you can write a blog post step by step. Here, let us do it for you. So they have like 60 different templates and there are other AI writers too, but they're not all the same. Just know that. And then some of these other programs, all of them are really fairly inexpensive. So I mean, I can't tell you how much they all are, but we're talking under $100 a month. So what else you got, Crystal?
All right. We also have someone asked, can you do resumes or like taxes with AI?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. So think about resumes and taxes. First of all, you can, like with the resume, you need to give it all the accurate information. Like say you're asking it to do a bio, you need to say, I would need to say if I wanted to do my bio, all the information about me, and it'll word it in a good, well-worded way. But when it comes to like, okay, what year did you work there? And what, I don't know, I'd try it with a resume, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And taxes, definitely not also, because the AI is not, it's not very accurate for details like that, for things that are very specific to you or specific to industry, like just really not esoteric, but things that just aren't very commonly out there. So no, you couldn't do it for your taxes. Not now. I always say that, not now, because everything changes so fast with AI. I mean, it used to be, we couldn't do those mid-journey images. You're just going to get kind of weirdo images, you know, with strange hands and feet. And then just months later, yeah, no, just kidding. You can have perfection. So.
I think it's somewhat linked, Terry, to the question of confidentiality and data security in AI models. I know we had a couple of questions about that as well, but in the context of HR and tax information, that might be a good part to drop this question in.
So the question, rephrase the question.
It's not a very specific question. It's more around the concern for data privacy, confidentiality of data, and you know, we had one aspect of also it being abused for scams because not everybody can create very convincing, compelling content.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sure what the question is in there,
The
but
question is by us inputting all this information, like when you talked about like starting up a business and having an idea, if the AI or someone on the other end was capturing that, and would they steal it essentially?
Exactly.
Is that the
Because there's
question?
no.
Do you have
yes.
any recommendations on how to address these concerns?
Well, if that's the question, if the question is, so say you're using that one AI tool that gives you the business validator one, and you put in your business thing and all they're doing, I mean, nobody's on the other end capturing all these millions of ideas to try and do something with. But is that the question, or are you talking about your personal data?
No, that was a question, but
Yeah,
then
no.
yeah,
It's
that was a
machine,
specific
it's
question.
machine learning. It's not, I mean, I just can't imagine somebody gathering all this data and in an, I don't know. I just don't see how that could work exactly. No. It's like, it's a random generator. So yeah, that's not a concern. I mean, there are concerns about ethical issues around data collection and stuff like that. But that's not an AI question. That's you know, we've been having those issues about data collection for a long time now. And that's why there's some regulations that have come on board with having to ask for cookie permission on websites and all that stuff. So that is an issue, but it's not an AI issue.
Great, thank you for clarifying that. Someone wanted to know if you can create schematics, infographics, and flow charts in any of those AI.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I wish I could do a really long webinar because there are a lot of tools like that. I don't remember offhand about flow charts or infographics. There are some. I'm saying I can't remember the name of them, but just Google that. AI for infographics. And here's the thing to know too, though, a lot of these tools are not very sophisticated yet. So you might like, there's one called designs.ai, and I did a review of it. And, you know, it's a graphic design program. So I wanted to see how well, and I'm a graphic designer, that was my background. So I wanted to see how well it did with like logo design and this and that. And it's really, at least at the time I was reviewing it, I gave it not high stars because it was expensive for subpar output. They might be better now. So my only comment is just Google, see those tools and then experiment with them, because these are new companies, a lot of them. So not only would the software maybe not work like you think it will, or maybe it will, but even if it works fantastic, they're a new company. So like, don't bet the ballpark on them yet, you know, because AI is a new industry. So just, you know, it's one thing if you're paying $50 a month for something, and it's another thing if you're trying to integrate that technology into your business, and yet, you know, maybe they're not solid enough to do that.
And one more question. We write a lot of proposals for our consulting business. Is there a tool for responses to request for proposals?
Is there a tool for responses to, tell me what does that mean? Can the questioner reword? Oh, here we go. We write a lot. I have it right here. We write a lot of proposals for our consulting business. Is there a tool for responses?
So like if they're responding to the
Oh,
like
is there a tool for them to
request.
respond to the request for proposal? So are you asking like, are you writing the proposal to these people who are requesting it? So we write a lot of for our consulting business. So they are writing the proposals, but yes, your reply, this is me not knowing much about your workflow or how it works or what you're actually asking me in full, but if you're doing a request for proposal and it's a matter of entering, so you tell it what you want it to say, but it puts it together. So in other words, you say, hey, do a response to this request for proposal for us. And, let them know that we can do this, 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 and this, and that there'll be an additional fee for that. And then have a legal section that talks about the pros and cons. So you can tell it all that. It'll come up with the answer for you. And then you take that and you tweak it to fit your circumstance or to word it the way you want to word it. But the amount of gain you get from going from a general idea of what you want to do, it's like talking to a assistant, right? You tell the assistant, here's what I want you to do. Now they know and they go do it. And that's what the AI basically does for you. And then you learn, sometimes you get the output and you're like, okay, that's not what I meant. And you realize, oh, it took it kind of literally. I didn't mean that. And then you just rework it and do it again. Get it till you want it.
So they want to know what AI tool that would be that would do a proposal.
I would start with ChatGPT, the free version, and experiment before investing in any AI tool. And maybe ChatGPT ends up being your AI tool. But I would go to ChatGPT and go ahead and set yourself up an account and then experiment with it. Do it. So whatever you do normally to write a response to these proposals, tell ChatGPT to do that. And just start experimenting with saying what you think would be the right thing to say, like what would you say to an assistant to do it? And then see what ChatGPT comes up with. And you'll start learning the lingo of how you have to present this to it and the type of information you need to include. But I would just start with ChatGPT, you guys, with the let's see, who is it? I'll have to scroll up. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Imtiaz? But anyway, that would be your answer there, is I would start with ChatGPT. And you're welcome to reach out to me too if you want to get more specific on that question, because I think I'm answering it for you. I hope I am, but it's not 100% sure if that's what you're asking.
We have another question. Does writing blog posts for our website using AI make our website as Class D by Google? Will the Google ranking get low when we write using AI for the website?
Okay, so that is a good question, a really good question. Yes and no, mostly no. And the reason why is a couple things. One, because we don't have anything in place to really catch AI content as well as it could be. In other words, I bet in the future there will be an AI that says, hey, that's AI content. But the second reason is you shouldn't, if you're going to write a blog post, like just use the AI writer as a tool. Like you need to know, here's what I usually do. If I'm writing one, I'll say to it, I want to write this, X number of words blog post. I want the H2 tags to be, meaning the subheads, I want the H2 tags to be blah, 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 blah. So I pretty much think, here's what I want. I'm the one authoring this. I'm the one who has an opinion and is framing this to express my opinion, but the AI is writing it, smoothing it for me, saying the words, and then so in other words, if you're writing blog posts using AI, you need to make 100% sure that it's you. You're going to be editing at least, a lot of it. You're going to be editing some large percentage of it. And it's ironic you asked this question because I was just thinking about this very topic. And I was thinking, I bet Google in the future they're going to have the AI algorithm or whatever AI component Google has doing this is going to be looking to see what percentage Like, what is AI content? There's going to be certain triggers that make it feel like it's a person and not an AI. Because it's not the AI content in itself is bad. It's not at all. It's just that if you tell the AI to write a blog post and then you put that on your website as your blog post, totally untouched by you, Google, I think, can tell at this stage, and it's not going to be a merit. I don't know if it's going to be a demerit, but that is something that everybody's talking about. Is this going to be a problem? But let me tell you, I have done a ton of writing with AI for myself, for many other websites. And two things. One, I've never run into any plagiarism issues, but also because I make it, it's my blog post. It's not the AI's blog post. I'm the one that's massaging this thing to make it happen. But, and, there's just never been an issue at all. But I don't know if you're like those farms that are like word farms out there that are just shoving stuff out on the internet, trying to get optimization from that those days are gone. I think Google's going to become really savvy about this, about, it's just like keyword stuffing or something. You can't do that anymore because Google's gotten smarter about it. So I definitely wouldn't worry about AI writing tools being a negative effect on your SEO unless you're really not writing it, you're not overseeing it and tweaking it and making it exactly like a human would write it. And it's hard to explain that to you until you start using these AI writers to see where it makes sense to go in there and smooth it to be yours. I don't know how to explain that, but you can tell because it'll say words like, I don't know, the way they phrase it. And it's like, no, if I was writing that, I would never say that. I would say, I feel like blah, 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 blah. Like I would say it in a different way than a machine starts sounding very machiney. So just experiment it with it.